Hey everyone, this is Kevin the Apptrepreneur, and let's talk about Postmates today. Postmates is kind of that good friend that does not get enough credit in my eyes. They're always there, they're always nice, they don't cause trouble, and they might not pay the most dividends, but they work when you need them in a bind. And with recent things like them offering instant payout and all these extra bonuses, they really should be looked at more seriously if you want to do gig economy work in general. And they don't seem to treat you as poorly, although canceling orders is still definitely a pain. Well, apparently they are going to be joining the big boys. We all know that Uber is going for an IPO. We know that Lyft is racing towards an IPO. But Postmates has fit the billion-dollar valuation, and they have announced they are going to be going for an IPO, which is an initial public offering, which means soon you can buy stock in Postmates. So according to Cheddar, that's the site. It's called Cheddar. Sorry, my nose is itching. The race between Uber and Lyft to go public first may spur companies outside the rideshare market to come to market too. One such company might be delivery service Postmates, said Wall Street Journal reporter Maureen Farrell. Quote, until really this year, these really well-capitalized, fast-growing companies, we heard about them for so long and we knew that they were waiting for as long as possible to tap the market. Now it seems like almost the opposite. These companies are getting a ton of capital in the private market, but they are going out there and trying to go to the public market sooner than later. Farrell said Postmates has interviewed bankers, though hasn't picked underwriters yet, but it's a clear step in the direction towards an IPO. Quote, I know their CEO has been kind of vocal about wanting to go in 2019 and saying they're ready. An offering from Postmates would add to an already stacked docket for IPOs next year and some lofty valuations. Bankers are reportedly saying Uber could be valued as high as $120 billion in its offerings. I don't know if I'm going to make a video about that, believe it or not. I'm skeptical about whether or not that's really newsworthy, but we'll see. We'll see. Double its valuation after fundraising round 2 months ago. And Lyft, after choosing its underwriters, could reach a valuation of $15.1 billion. It remains to be seen whether these valuations will stick once Silicon Valley stars hit Wall Street. Yeah, that's the thing. It's all projected. And as with Facebook, when that initially went public, we found out pretty quickly it wasn't worth as much as we thought it was. Until it was. So the stock market's just kind of funny that way. Quote, I think there could be a huge variation in what the market will think about Uber and Lyft. They're both unprofitable. They're very fast growing. There are so many different factors at play. One factor is whether investors have enough appetite for two publicly traded rideshare companies. If Uber makes it to market first, will investors also want shares of Lyft? Conversely, if Lyft wins the race and performs well, it could set the stage for its bigger counterpart, which I have discussed in other videos, which I'll see if I can't link to them at the end of this video. If Lyft could essentially set a baseline and Uber could be valued off of them, assuming it all goes well, public investors would have had time to understand and digest this whole new business model. There could be upside for Uber there. The full interview is at the Wall Street Journal, which I'm not subscribed to at the moment. So, we have to just go on that. So anyway, what do I think about Postmates going with an IPO? Well, Grubhub went public and they seem to be doing fine. So Postmates is much, much more popular than Grubhub. They seem to be garnering a little bit more profitability. They have the fundraising down. So I think them going public would probably be good for that company. In fact, they're also sponsoring all these YouTube videos. Mine's not one of them, but I see sponsorships on Boogie2998 and Philip DeFranco all the time. And for that matter, what is it? Oh yeah, they've also expanded. They are expanding. I think they added an additional 143 cities that they serve to the app over the weekend, and now that means they cover about 60% of the gig economy market when it comes to food delivery. So, and of course, they do a lot more than food. Like I said, I love sharing the story about how I picked up a Postmates order, and it was a copy for Joe Dirt 2 from Best Buy on Blu-ray. Like, seriously, people use it for this stuff. So I think Postmates is in a very good position to go public, and I think they will do fairly well. And I have to say, out of all the companies that have announced that they're probably going to go public, Postmates is probably the one that I would feel the most comfortable buying stock in. They seem to be growing fast, but not too fast. They have losses, but they're not crazy outrageous. They don't really cause any trouble. The drivers aren't particularly wealthy, but they don't feel like they're being particularly stifled either. So Postmates seems to kind of be finding that middle ground that most of these companies should be finding. Of course, time will tell if it's actually going to work out in the long run, but we'll just have to wait and see. In the meantime, what do you think? Do you think this is a good idea? Are you going to buy stock in any of these companies? I would love to know. So comment below, like, favorite, share, subscribe. If you enjoy my videos, consider becoming a Patreon member. It's totally optional, of course, but even as little as $1 a month goes a long way to helping the channel run smoothly. And as always, flame responsibly. Have a good one.